This program is part of American Graduate. Let's make it happen. A public media initiative made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Riley of the Detroit Free Press. Welcome to American Graduate and our graduation celebration show. One of the most celebrated times in a person's life is graduating from high school. It's a great achievement and a memorable moment to walk across the stage and receive a high school diploma. Graduating students are proud of themselves, and we are proud of them too. For many, this anticipated milestone is just the first step on an educational path towards securing a successful career. But for others, this moment is a reminder of the wide array of challenges they've faced that made earning a high school diploma seem impossible. There are so many different organizations in our community who are ready and willing to help struggling students. Today, we'll meet several of them and learn more about their programs and how they support and encourage young people. Throughout the show, we'll highlight 4 success stories, tales of high school students who faced adversity, students who not only overcame but excelled. Their achievement was aided by people who worked side by side with them to help them earn their high school diplomas. During our graduation celebration, we will celebrate the triumphs of students. But as important, we will issue a call to action for you, our viewers. Fred Nahat is here with me tonight to encourage you to step up and help by contacting us using the information located at the bottom of the screen. We want you to get involved. We want you to make a positive impact on a student. We want you to volunteer to help in any way that you can. It won't just change your lives, it will change theirs. Let's kick off the show by hearing from State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Mike Flanagan.
You know, I think the key challenge that we're facing right now in the state is a little bit of denial that the problem isn't as bad as it really is. We still have roughly 25% dropout rate, 50% in some districts. This isn't just a Detroit problem. I think there's a perception that this is kind of urban, this is an urban issue. I would say it is a bigger problem where there's poverty, but there's also rural poverty. And then there's pockets of poverty even within so-called suburban districts. There's a face and an image of urban dropout that just is not real. This is a problem across the state. It's a problem across the nation. I was clearly headed to be a dropout, and I was a New York City kid, and we moved to Long Island, and I didn't fit in really well. But I had a teacher in middle school. I had good parents, but a teacher that kind of redirected me. We're trying to make systemic changes, and really starting with what we call the Superintendent's Dropout Challenge. At every school, identify 15 kids that either have discipline problems, which was kind of my issue then, or reading problems. There's behaviors you can tell as early as elementary school, and then start working with them. It's already, for the 1,300 schools that have signed up, in this relatively short time, there's already been, I think it's a 9-point-some% decrease in the number of dropouts that they've had. And it's not rocket science. It's taking kids and meeting them where they are at that point in time and trying to correct. The encouragement is that with the proper supports, you can succeed. And it takes the parent and the community and the school itself. Kind of back to my own case, I had a teacher named Miss Kubler, and my parents were great, but I was one of 8. They were busy. And Miss Kubler, I remember when she really made me believe, it's kind of corny, but you could be president, and you really kind of believed it. And once she did, it's hard to describe, but if kids believe other adults believe that they can make it, they'll do it. It's a matter of high expectations. If they can get a teacher or a community member or a senior citizen that says you can really be something special, it changes the whole dynamic, because then they start to believe it.
Except it's more color.
Started with a couple beats on top of a couple dreams. Now it's 100 guillotines to your whole regime. My
passion is music. My mom used to go in my room and find little, pieces of paper with raps written on them and rhymes. I've been doing it since I can remember listening to hip hop.
Broke Captain America's shield, left your feet for more.
Growing up in Southwest Detroit, you're gonna be around violence and gangs. A lot of kids' stories are, not always Brady Bunch type. My friends, they come from different parts of the hood and they grew up in the same struggle. Those are my brothers, period. more than friends. You know, parents, it's actually a struggle for your kids to survive in high school because it could be just as ugly as the streets. I transitioned to Annapolis, which is Dearborn Heights. And from going to a school where, like, wasn't really that strict, teachers didn't really care, to a school to where, like, they expected a lot from you, and the curriculum was very high speed. That was a little bit hard to transition to. You know, I got caught up in having a relationship with a girl, not taking school serious at all, not studying, not doing my homework. I thought I could get away with a lot of things. I wasn't really truthful with my mother, like lying about my grades, lying about my whereabouts. Like, it was just all bad. And then it came all crashing down. My mom decided to call the counselor, and the counselor basically told her everything. That summer was really important to me because it made me decide who I want to be in the future. One of my friends in middle school died in a car accident. It really woke me up. I could have made all these bad decisions and then be dead the next day and never have an opportunity to make them right again. When I was at the HCC, went to summer camp. It was a day where the parents write letters, and reading my mom's letter, that's what really, like, I had to do something. This was basically a crossroad, and I really just made my decision to go that way, the right way. My mother helped me out, and also DHDC. DHDC stands for Detroit Hispanic Development Corporation, and it's always been like a home away from home. Lex to me is a father figure and a brother figure. He is in charge of the digital media program. That's somebody who I could depend on, who I could trust with all my heart. I got back from camp, and me and my mom had a long talk. We were figuring out ways we could fix this. I attended night school. I had to bust my butt. I didn't want to let my mom down. I thought the biggest thank you would be me graduating. After high school, I'm going to Henry Ford Community College. I'm studying telecommunications.
Ramon Mendez.
I'm to finally walk down that stage and see my mom, see her proud, and see my family proud, and see me proud. I think it's the best feeling in the world. You can't even define it at all.
Our first organization interview will be with Excellent Schools Detroit CEO Dan Varner. Dan, welcome to American Graduate.
Thank you. It's great to be here. In
just 2 years, your organization has worked very hard doing amazing things on its 90-90-90 plan. Can you tell our viewers about that?
You bet. So the 90-90-90 goal for the organization is to ensure that every Detroit student is in a school that is, where they're on track to graduate 90% of their students on time, enroll 90% of those kids in a quality post-secondary program, and have 90% of those enrollees ready to succeed in that program without remediation. And so our coalition partners, because Excellent Schools Detroit really is a coalition of organizations, many of whom are here today, have been working tirelessly over the last 2 years in order to achieve some of that work, restarted a number of high schools, started new high schools, have worked around talent development issues to create a School Leaders Academy and new teacher residency and induction programs, and many, many other things in order to ensure great academic outcomes for kids.
How many students does your program touch?
Well, so we work with every district, every school. Our coalition really is governance neutral. So we work with every school, whether it's a DPS school, a charter school, a private school. So literally the 150,000 school-age children that Detroit produces and has every year are the students that we work with.
And what needs to happen in this coming school year to help you towards your goal of 90-90-90?
I would say the most important thing, probably two things that really need to happen. One is, and these are really two of the three things that we do as an organization. One is to make sure that all of the institutional actors remain organized, kind of coherent and organized and aligned around achieving one goal. And then the second is for the Detroit community really to rise up, all of us together, and demand and support quality educational outcomes for kids.
And here's a yes or no question. Can we do it in Detroit?
You bet we can. Absolutely.
I love that. I do want to ask you a question that I'm going to ask everybody tonight. How soon?
Our goal is to achieve that 90-90-90 by 2020. That is, frankly, a very much a stretch goal when you look at other cities and how quickly they've been able to improve educational outcomes for kids. But I remain convinced, so I'm a little bit of an optimist, I suppose, but I remain convinced that we'll have Time magazine back in 2020 to do a new story about Detroit as the comeback city of the decade. And one of the big articles in that issue will be about how Detroit got its educational outcomes to the 90-90-90 benchmark. We absolutely can do it by 2020.
And in that article, what is your title going to be?
Just one of many. One of many folks who worked hard to make a difference.
That's what it takes. Thank you so much, Dan, for being here. That was Dan Varner, and now we're going to go over to Fred Nahat so he can explain more about our call to action.
All right, guys, thank you. Yeah, we're looking for folks to rise up. I'm here inside the American Graduate Call Center, along with volunteers who are waiting to hear from you. Metro Detroiters making a difference in the lives of our kids is what this is all about. Please volunteer to become a mentor or support youth in another way. Contact us using the information on the bottom of the screen, and we'll connect you with area agencies who are working to stop the dropout crisis in our area. Struggles our students face today are unique and varied and often play a key role in students dropping out of school. But you can make a difference. The best path to success a lot of times is simply the involvement of just one person, a person like you. So we invite you to volunteer and become a positive influence in the life of a young person and in Michigan's future. And don't forget, this is a graduation celebration, a time to celebrate the success of students who've made it, some of whom have beaten great odds in their path to graduation. At the same time, this is a call to action, a time to mobilize around our young people and offer hope to those who have dropped out of school and encouragement to those who are at risk. This is a way forward, so please, your involvement is crucial. We heard from our state superintendent, Mike Flanagan, who spoke about the Superintendent's Dropout Challenge and how we can use that challenge to motivate our young people toward success. The dropout crisis cuts across all areas, city and suburb, statewide, and across the country. So be that one person. Celebrate the success of those who've made it today and help motivate others to stay in school. Now it's up to us. You can give your time and become a mentor. You can donate supplies, resources, or support by contacting us right now. Use the information at the bottom of your screen and help make a difference. High school dropouts face hardships in several areas. Finding work can be a struggle. Access to health care can be difficult. Without an education, uncertainty of income affects your ability to afford even life's necessities like food, housing, and transportation. But there is hope for our young people, and it lies in education. And you can help our students succeed by volunteering now. Contact us using the information at the bottom of the screen and let us know if there's a particular organization you'd like to work with, and let us know your strengths and skills and how you can make a difference.
The Detroit Public Schools held its annual art exhibition at the Detroit Institute of Arts. Students from 32 schools submitted paintings, prints, drawings, photography, and other artistic expressions. Hundreds of pieces were hand-selected and showcased April through June. After-school and summer enhancement programs can encourage a student's interest in a variety of areas and provide positive psychological connections to school. Coming up next, we'll talk with Mike Tenbush from United Way for Southeastern Michigan and Dr. Blandina Rose from Black Family Development.
When I was younger, I was like a little troublemaker. In middle school, when I just started falling out of school, and I got in the wrong group of friends who always wanted to like skip school and go hang out. So right when I hit high school, it kind of just went downhill. I just stopped going. My mom just eventually, she had enough, so she sent me to go live with my dad in Florida, who I met 4 weeks of my life. So it was really tough because I was going to go live with a bunch of strangers. My dad was he was a drug abuser. There was like 10 people living there, and I felt like I had no privacy whatsoever. I ran away to go live with my boyfriend at the time's sister's house, and I guess I caught parasites from the water I drank there. I called my grandma and was like, "Oh, come home." When I came back to Michigan, I felt very relieved. It made me really just straighten out my life. I did a whole turnaround on my life and got a job, went back to school after I started feeling better. My grandmother, she's like my second mom. She's always been there, and she says that I can do it.
Some of the butterflies here.
Hey, honey. How are you?
Miss Bell's our secretary at Madison Community, and she has been an amazing counselor, even though she's not a counselor. Miss Bell mentioned OTEC to me, which is Oakland School's technical campus, so I got enrolled in a class called BMMT, Business Management and Marketing and Technology. They gave me a passion for computers that I really never knew I had. My teachers at Oakland School's technical campus have been amazing. They've really pushed me and made me believe I'm a lot smarter than I ever thought I was, and now I know that I can do it. I've received certifications, national ones that will follow me throughout my life, and I received a scholarship from the Teacher of the Year, Mr. Galbinski. When he awarded me the scholarship, I almost cried. It feels amazing. To know that I'm going to be graduating is everything I thought graduating would be. I am so very proud of myself for doing this. It's a big step in your life to graduate, and I'm making that step. And it's unbelievable.
Joining me now is Michael Tenbush of United Way for Southeastern Michigan. Welcome, Michael.
Great to be here, Rochelle.
Congratulations. Michigan's Children just awarded you one of its Heroes at Sunrise Awards.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about why you got that.
I know some great people. Our goal at United Way is to help 30 schools that had been failing for a long time, 30 high schools, get to 90% graduation rates. And we do this work in networks. So 5 joined the first network 3 years ago. And it starts with the leadership, and we just had such great leaders turning their whole school around to go from kind of unsafe, large places where kids were anonymous to much smaller communities where every principal knows every kid and their parents by name and cell phone number, and every teacher has 20 kids that they're going to get from freshman orientation in high school to freshman orientation in college. And those teachers and principals have done such great work. Michigan's Children gave me an award for what they did, along with the principals and GL, who's been a big supporter of this work.
Now, United Way has been doing this, like many organizations, for a long time. What is the biggest challenge to getting our children to where they need to be to graduate from high school?
We've knocked down some challenges. So some of the challenges where you had great principals who didn't have control over the budgets and decisions in their building, we knocked that challenge down, and we now have empowered principals, so that's been great. As a result, you now have teachers who know every kid by name, so the schools used to be unsafe, and now they're safe, so that's great. The biggest challenge right now is we want every kid to graduate college or career ready, but so many kids really have not experienced life outside of their neighborhood. So what we're really focused on now is how can we connect the CompuWares and GMs, and not just the corporate name, but the people who make up the heart and soul of that building, sharing their expertise and their passion with what they do best with kids in the classroom, that they can have real-world experience before they walk across the stage.
I'm going to ask you the same question I plan to ask every guest. Can we do this in Detroit?
Oh, we're doing it. We are, and the thing is, you can't just come in and do it across the board. All of life takes place, whether it's the American Revolution or the Civil Rights Revolution. It starts in church basements and kitchen tables with great individuals getting together to form networks, having kind of some changed habits and disciplines of practice that end up influencing systems. And what we're seeing in Detroit is that just fearless leaders have gotten together, started building great schools, and now that's influencing other great leaders and other great leaders, and you're seeing it happen. And I have no doubt by 2020, you will see every kid graduating, and 90% at least going into college.
And what's the greatest thing that someone can do for United Way in this effort in the coming school year?
The biggest thing for us is really to pick up the phone, call 211, and say, I've got a passion and I want to share it with some kids. And we create those pathways where you can have relationships that will change lives. not just others' lives, but your own.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate your being with us.
Appreciate all you do for education.
I'd like to share a video that United Way of Southeastern Michigan and Detroit Public Television partnered to produce. They profiled a dozen teachers across Southeast Michigan, teachers who are having significant impacts on the lives of young people because of their dedication, devotion, and skill. Here is the short, beautiful piece on the long, hard work of great teachers.
Children are not blank slates. When they come here, they have something. Before we even open the book, what do you already know? And then we build on that.
What did you say 3 minus 5 was?
-2.
-2, very good.
Everybody needs somebody. You can't do it all by yourself. You need a partner, someone to make me feel better about myself. But you have improved, you know that. Just in this week, it's been
When they come here, it should be someplace that they feel excited to go to.
I think if you use innovative techniques that kids can forget about a lot of their troubles and start building something inside of themselves.
I want my products to represent the things that I represent, to be disciplined, to be prepared, and to be diverse enough so that they can adjust out in the outside world.
When I write students a letter, I really hope that they remember why they knew me. And I hope that those letters stand as the voice of encouragement when I'm no longer around them.
So if you charge, I haven't checked that yet. Oh, you ahead of the game. All right. I took 2 students to their first ballet, and the mother was in tears when I went to pick them up. I'm like, why are you crying? Because no teacher has ever gone to that length.
We have to discover what's really going on with them, and it's our job to pull that out of them, make sure that they have some hope and they believe in themselves when they go out into the world.
Developing them into mature adults, productive citizens, and young people who care about where they are and where they're going.
Joining me now is Dr. Blandina Rose of Black Family Development's Promise Neighborhood program. Tell me about that.
You know what, this is so exciting, it's almost hard to tell you where to begin. Detroit's Promise Neighborhoods is coming down the pike right now as a new initiative. We are in our planning year. When it kicks off, this is going to be a 5-year longitudinal study, very data-driven, very results-oriented, and extremely broad-based across 2 communities in Detroit. And we really want to start with the 2 communities and gear up to even more communities in Detroit. But the 2 that we have right now are Osborne on the east side and Clark Park in the southwest Detroit area. And what we expect to do is create a cradle-to-career pipeline across the board for children to achieve every possible achievement that they can achieve. And we really expect that that pipeline will prepare children by creating a community that is vital and vibrant to be able to usher our children through this cradle-to-career pipeline.
And how many children are you going to be working with?
We are looking about 3,500 children in each community, so about 7,000 children to start out with. And we expect to be doing this work for a very long time.
And how are you doing this? Is this with volunteers or staff? Or?
This is with everybody, starting with the community itself. And the interesting thing about the Promise Neighborhoods right now is that the 2 communities are already geared up to do this work, and results are already being seen. So the community itself is, of course, leading the way, demanding that we achieve and bring results, and then we work with many, many partners across the community, many of the partners who are here tonight, and many more. And we just address every issue at every step of the way, every issue from safety to student achievement, to an increase in graduation rates, certainly to a reduction in dropout rates. Every other aspect. We want to make sure that housing is viable and vibrant. We want to make sure that when kids graduate from high school, not only can they go to college, they can come out of college ready for a career and just make a pipeline from beginning to end.
I've got a yes or no question for you. Can this happen in Detroit?
Oh, absolutely. It's already happening. And in fact, there are so many initiatives going on right now. But the important thing is Detroiters themselves want to see this happen.
Good.
And so yes, it can and it is happening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rose. Now we're going to check in again with Fred Nahat to see how the call-ins are coming along. Fred?
All right, guys, thank you. It is happening here. It is happening now. And just this reminder, we're not asking for donation dollars, not looking for a financial contribution right now, just looking for folks to call in and volunteer. I'm inside the American Graduate Call Center along with volunteers who are waiting to hear from you to volunteer. With this broadcast, we're celebrating the success of this year's graduates and encouraging you to get involved and make a difference for students at risk of dropping out. Please volunteer to become a mentor or support youth in another way. Contact us using the information at the bottom of the screen, and we'll connect you with area agencies who are working to stop the dropout crisis in our area. Research shows every 28 seconds a student makes the decision to drop out of school. But having the support of an organization, a mentor, and the community keeps students on track to graduation. As we just heard from Mike Tenbush of the United Way of Southeast Michigan, they're always looking for volunteers. You can mentor students, provide clerical support, be a tutor, even a motivational speaker. Let us know how you can help by contacting us by using that information at the bottom of the screen, and we'll share your name and skills with the organizations who can use your help. Our friends at Black Family Development and Promise Neighborhood encourage you to get involved right where you live. Volunteer to help kids walk to and from school safely. Contact us now and join a team working to reduce violence in the streets. Let us know if you can teach a child a new skill or provide insight or tutoring for kids who are having a hard time in school. There are many things you can do to improve the lives of our children. It just takes that first step, the step that says, I'm here and I want to help. You can do that by contacting us right now.
Nearly 700 students showcased their talent at the Fox Theater to a sold-out audience during the Detroit Public Schools' 43rd Annual Evening of Fine Arts. During the evening, elementary, middle, and high school students performed pieces that ranged from instrumental music compositions to vocal and dance pieces. Creating supportive teacher-student relationships is an important factor behind student success in high school. Coming up next, we'll talk with Glenn Taylor of Widening Advancements for Youth and Lyndon Williams from Winning Futures.
I dropped out of school because I had a baby at an early age, and that was kind of interrupting me on schoolwork, having a hard time trying to wake up in the morning, getting up because I was staying up all night. Well, I got married young. I was 17 and she was 16. My wife, Sarah, dropped out of school. It was tough for her too. We was young and we didn't know how to work as a team.
3, 2, 1.
At the time, I had a job. So I thought, well, I think everything is gonna be all right since I got this job. It was $7.45 an hour, and I realized that wasn't helping my family at all. I was at work, and my wife had called me, and she said, there's a program, it's called the WADE program, that is gonna offer you a diploma. I said, yeah, you're kidding me. I said, honey, is you starting too? She said, yes. So I was kind of excited. What's great about the way I do love bringing my kids there. But Sean, he's a great team leader. If I don't get something right, he still work with me. He won't huff and puff and seem like it's stressful. He would just keep his patience and work it out with me. I will understand that towards the end of the day. A lot of jobs require a high school diploma or even a higher degree. And I've been applying for jobs, struggling because I didn't have my diploma. And I was really upset about that. I've been around a lot of people that get their education and that encourage me, hey, I want to finish school. I want to go back and get my diploma or GED. That's what made me want to go back, because I was around people that had a future. After I get done with my high school diploma and graduate, I would like to go to WCC to get my Certified Nurse Assistant certificate.
Ready to pray? Come on, buddy. Lord God, we thank you for this day.
I didn't have a father, so I'm excited to be a father with my 2 children. I love teaching my son, especially my 4.5-year-old. I love teaching him how to write his ABCs.
Still alive? Good job.
I want them to look back and say, hey, my dad got a diploma, my dad got a college degree. I want the same.
May Walker.
I'm really excited about graduating. I opened up more doors for me. I want to be able to encourage my son, the next generation that comes up. I want to be able to encourage them and tell them to stay in school is very important. I'm very excited about my future now and then what's to come. So I believe my future is going to be great.
Now I'm happy to welcome Lyndon Williams, a board member with Winning Futures. I love that name for an organization that works with high school students. Tell us about it.
Oh, I'm very proud, first of all, to be here to represent Winning Futures. I appreciate that. We've been around since 1994, and Winning Futures, the words really mean preparing these high school students to be successful in their future, and that's really what we're all about. We use school-based mentoring programs where we actually go into the schools. We partner with the schools and actually spend time with the students on every week and help them put together a 5-year plan to be successful in whatever it is they're trying to do.
Why is mentoring so important for young people?
I think it's important for the reason of making sure that they have a certain sense of self-worth, a certain sense of excitement about their future, and having someone to validate that, having someone there to answer those questions that they need to have answered, that a teacher or a parent may not be the right source at that time of life. And to have that third person come into the picture to provide that guidance and that assurance of, yes, here's how things are and here's how we can help to get you there, I think that's what they like about it.
Now, you work with a lot of young people. What number are you up to now?
We work with about 1,000, almost 1,000 students a year, over 20,000, 21,000 since our existence. We've given away scholarships totaling over $1.6 million. So we really have a lot of outreach. We're in all 3 counties right now. We sell our program to schools in other states. So we're really active right now and really growing and expanding, but we always need volunteers to help us to mentor the students.
And how many volunteers do you need each year?
As I said, we're growing, but normally in the range of 80 to 100, depending on how many programs we have at that time. And our volunteer program is so easy and so much fun. Hands-on, come in for an hour a week, spend time with your students. You can contact them after that and keep in touch throughout the whole year. And our programs just keep them engaged and keep them excited about their future. So that's how we
I'm going to ask you a familiar question. Is this possible in Detroit?
Well, as some have said, and I know it's going to sound like a broken record soon, but this is happening for us. We have a 90% right now. Students have gone through Winning Futures, graduate at a 90% rate right now. So this has been happening for years for us. And I mean, we have thousands of stories talking about how going from dropout to, okay, now I'm not going to drop out, now I'm going to graduate, now I'm going to be successful. All kinds of stories that we could share with you had we had more time.
Well, I'm a storyteller, so maybe we need to get some of those stories and gather them together and let people know about them.
Okay.
I want to thank you so much for coming out and for doing this.
Absolutely.
And we're going to get you some volunteers if we can.
That'd be great.
Thank you. We're now going to play an excerpt from Winning Futures training video. The videos are designed to show teachers and program staff how to lead a class lesson. Teachers also have the option to play a video for their students. The following short clip was taken from the Positive Attitude lesson.
How's everybody doing today? Great! It is a great day. It's so great, in fact, that we're going to talk about the importance of a positive mental attitude. So here we go. Attitude is everything. It's the way you talk, it's the way you walk, it's the way you think, it's the way you feel, it's the way you act, it's the way you react, but most importantly, it's the way you interact with others. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What is a positive attitude and how do you get it? So let me break it down for you. Y'all ready? Here we go. Attitude is the way you talk. What words do you choose that comes out of your mouth every day? Are they positive? Do you give gratitude? Do you give thanks? Attitude is the way you walk. How do you walk into the room? Do you know first impressions are made in the first 3 seconds when you walk into a room? So are you one of those people that walk in the room with your shoulders back, a smile on your face, and ready to meet somebody with eye contact? Then you are somebody that has the tools to have a positive mental attitude.
Joining me now is Glenn Taylor of Widening Advancements for Youth. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Tell us about Widening Advancements.
Widening Advancements for Youth is a new way of educating students utilizing personalized learning along with a blended platform where we're actually working with kids face-to-face as well as online, which gives us a lot of flexibility in really meeting them where they're at, moving them forward academically, but also accommodating what their schedules are. We've traditionally worked very much with students with risk factors in their lives across the state. We currently partner with around 100 districts through the partnerships that we have.
100 districts?
Yes, and we come in as an alternative to what districts have been offering as options for students. So it's another way of reaching out and touching students that otherwise may not have had the options or had the access that they need.
Now, explain it to me like I'm an 8-year-old. How does this work day to day?
Right, so our students all receive a mentor. So we have a 6-to-1 mentor ratio within the program. We have highly qualified staff that are wrapping around and co-creating content with students, so they're working on projects together based on what students' interests are, so we can take them and engage them very much in the learning that's taking place. Still meeting rigorous standards of where students need to go to be ready for college. We also have team leaders that, as we saw working with Tremaine earlier, that work with students, 60 students at a time, but they do home visits and they connect with families and students. They really reach out and make sure they don't have any obstacles. They'll link them up to internship opportunities, really very much part of the community.
Wow, that's a lot of work, and you do this with volunteers?
We don't do it with all volunteers.
Okay.
So the network has right now probably 400 certified teachers that work with kids online, as well as the team leaders in the face-to-face labs that we have around the state.
And you're working with how many youth around Michigan?
We currently service about 1,300 youth.
Across the state?
Across the state.
Well, that sounds like a fantastic job and a lot of work. So I won't ask you a question as narrowly as what's happening in Detroit, but you're obviously helping Michigan. So is this something that's unusual, or is this the wave of the future?
I think it will be the wave of the future, because I think people will continue to find links in how education can fit differently into the lives of the students that they're servicing to really make it as relevant as possible. We will be opening our offerings up to middle school students. We've typically been high school.
Wow.
And we will be coming to Detroit in the fall, in southwest Detroit. So
sounds
we'll be
great.
opening a site there as well.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. Now we're going to check in again with Fred Nahat to see how many of you are calling in to help support a student in need. Fred?
All right, guys, thank you. And this reminder, not asking for financial contributions right now, just looking for folks to get involved. Anything is possible as long as we spread the word amongst ourselves and our friends. Here, call 5 people. Let them know to tune into this broadcast and spread the word about the effort that we're undertaking here inside the American Graduate Call Center, along with the volunteers who are waiting to hear from you, celebrating our young people for their positive achievements and providing support for those who need it. That's what this day is all about. We encourage you to contact us right now and become a mentor. Support youth in another way. You can reach out by using the information on the bottom of the screen, and we'll connect you with area agencies who are working to stop the dropout crisis here in our area. We've been hearing from our viewers who want to make a difference. Teachers and business owners, even retirees have all reached out and are willing to lend a hand to mobilize around our young people, to offer hope to those who have dropped out and encouragement to those who are at risk. Your involvement begins the minute you connect with us here, so do that right now. It's true that those who graduate from high school find more of life's opportunities in all areas, including education, employment, and family success. Earning a diploma provides evidence of hard work to employers and a commitment to achieving a personal goal. We salute all of our young people who have done that this year. Congratulations to graduates on their special day. But there are also many students who are struggling, working hard, but still in need of a person who can provide some support. That's a person like you. Matching your skill in reading or math or science with a student that is having trouble in those areas is the best way to keep them on a path to success and make it less likely that they will drop out. You can be that one person. Contact us now using the information on the screen and volunteer. Become a tutor. Organizations like Winning Futures provide full and part-time tutoring to support students in their studies. Winning Futures is actively looking for mentors and career coaches. All you need to do is sign up. Connect with us right now and start making a difference today. If you're a business owner, consider the opportunities you can provide through internships or employment coaching. The WAY program works with local businesses to provide students with internships and job shadowing and other hands-on opportunities to learn about work and to learn about careers. To find out more about how you can help young people and help them get involved in your company or business, we want you to contact us right now.
The first Robotics State Championship of Michigan brought science and sports together. Hosted at Eastern Michigan University, it was a celebration of innovation as 64 of the 190 Michigan First robotics competition teams showcased the talents of their remote-controlled machines.
The Tech Bikes robot for the Red Alliance shooting very well.
Family engagement has a direct effect on children and learning. When parents care and are involved, students achieve more. Coming up next, we'll talk with Penny Baylor from City Year Detroit and Charlonda Buckman of the Detroit Parent Network.
I live with my aunt because when I was 6, I was adopted because my mother passed away from a heart attack. In middle school, I wasn't too focused on my work. I can do the work, but when it came to test taking, I would blank out. We took the MEP test and my scores were really low, like really low. In middle school, Mercy Education Project helped me a lot with the test taking. My reading level went up. My test taking, most definitely, it raised up higher. I don't think I would be going to college in the fall, or at least the college I'm going to, if Mercy didn't help me in middle school. Alternative for Girls, I've been in it for 12 years. They just do kind of the stuff that I don't do in high school. They teach me about drugs, abuse, a whole bunch of different topics.
Hey, Miss Tiffany.
We recently got into high school group and there was a new coordinator. She's been helping me with college and helping with recommendations. I think Alternative for Girls, I would consider like a second home. I would be there all the time because like not growing up with my mom, I would learn a lot of stuff that I didn't think I was gonna learn with dealing with all this. Like losing my parents and not really knowing much of who my parents were. Mercy Education and Alternative for Girls changed my life in a big way because it was not only something that helped me, but it was also something that after school I had some place to go. I learned stuff and got help in what I needed help in. What made it important for me to graduate is knowing that none of my family really graduated out of high school, or some didn't make it past middle school. I'm the first one to go to university, second one to graduate from high school. In Alternative for Girls, they ask us sometimes like, oh, what do you want to do in your future, or like 10 years from now? And just from there, I was like, oh, well, college is an option. After high school, I'm going into Grand Valley State University in the fall and I'm going to major in business. Graduating high school, it's new. Like, it's exciting. Everybody told me my sophomore, junior, like, oh, you're gonna miss high school when you're a senior, and I feel it now. I'm gonna miss Western a lot.
Jennifer Martinez, Grand Valley State.
When I go across stage, I'm gonna feel like kind of with butterflies, but just happy that I did it.
I am thrilled now to welcome my friend Penny Baylor of City Year Detroit. You've seen the familiar young men and women in the red jackets. They belong to City Year. Hi, Penny.
Thank you, Rochelle. You do know the Red Jackets.
Yes, I do. Tell our viewers a little bit about City Year and the work that you do on dropout prevention.
Well, City Year is really about the Peace. It's like the Peace Corps in the city. And young adults up to the age of 24 give a year of full-time service. So this is volunteering, but they do get a tiny stipend from AmeriCorps, about $250 a week. And if you can imagine living on that, they do, and they do full-time work. We tell them they work half-time because they work 12 hours a day, which is half of 24. They're giving service. And these are role models and people that we select because they're great role models and they make a commitment to serve for a year. We break them into teams, and a team goes into a school and stays for a whole year, 7:15 in the morning to 5:30 at night. So they're clapping and cheering to welcome Rochelle, Rochelle, Rochelle. When you come in the door, they go in the classroom. Well, they go in the office and call your mom if you don't show up. And then they go in the classroom and they have a focus list of kids who are most off track for graduation. And we use the Johns Hopkins research, which shows the early warning indicator of dropping out are attendance, behavior, and classwork in math and English. That's ABC, easy to remember. And they focus on those kids who are off track in those three elements to get them on track for high school graduation. And we're right on track with everybody you've interviewed tonight. All the United Way schools, all the excellent schools, Detroit, the 90-90-90, those are our goals as well.
Now, one of the things that makes this so special is that you are always growing. You're adding schools. Talk a little bit about how that's happening.
Well, we're so excited. I've been at City Year 11 years, and this year we are growing from 71 to 101 corps members, which means we can add schools. So we will have 4 new schools this year where we will be able to send teams. And that's the only reason for growing, is to serve more children. So that means 4 more schools, and some of them will be our Diplomas Now schools, which is our partnership with Johns Hopkins. So there'll be 4 more schools with City Year corps members in them, in addition to the others that we already have. We focus on 6th to 9th grade. So from 6th grade to 9th grade are the critical years, and if you can't turn their ABCs, attendance, behavior, and classwork around by the 9th grade, it's very difficult. 75 to 80% will not graduate from high school. So we can't let that happen. That's unacceptable. Of course not.
And can this happen in Detroit?
It's happening in Detroit. It's happening all over the country in high poverty, low achieving districts. So we're turning that around, and we're determined.
Well, I am determined to work with you. We're so thrilled for the Red Jackets and for the work that you're doing.
You've been a great champion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
If you've been watching, thank you again. If you've been watching Detroit Public Television, you've probably seen one of the 40 one-minute caregiver tips produced in cooperation with the Early Childhood Investment Corporation. Let's take a look at one of them now.
Infants and toddlers communicate what they know. They cry when they need comfort. They coo at familiar playthings. They imitate our voices to express themselves. Talking to your child throughout the day and paying attention to their gestures and sounds builds trust and gives them a head start in learning to communicate. The conversation may seem a bit one-sided at first, but over time, your child will respond with words. That's how children learn language. They soak up all the spoken words from adults in their lives, and they connect what you talk about with the world around them. So keep talking with the child you care for, and pay attention to how they respond to your voice. These are a child's first steps to learning to speak.
Tips like these are intended to provide parents and caregivers with ideas on how to better prepare their children for school from the beginning. We can't have a conversation about what it takes to graduate from high school without looking at how critical those early childhood years before age 5 are in a child's development. It's not just about ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. It's about being socially and emotionally ready to start school and begin the educational journey toward graduation. You can see video tips at mylearns.org, a new website organized by DPTV to collect free tools and resources to better educate our community. Now, our last guest for our show is Charlonda Buckman of the Detroit Parent Network. Hi, Charlonda.
Hi, Rochelle. How are you?
I am great. We've worked together on a lot of things, but you have even more things happening because you're celebrating an anniversary.
Absolutely, absolutely. Detroit Parent Network has been around servicing and supporting parents for 10 years now. We were founded in 2002 and intentionally by parents and with the support of the Skillman Foundation to get parents more involved with their kids' education. We focus on helping parents and primary caregivers actually get more involved within their communities, within their homes, and within their children's schools. So education is a key focus for us. We provide lots of support, parent support groups, parenting classes, we do policy advocacy, we have a lot of organizing in the community, knocking on doors to get parents aware of the services and supports available to help their kids be successful in school. But our primary focus has been education. And so we developed this program called Project Graduation, which is intent on helping parents become what we call the nagger. When you talk to a lot of kids that have been successful at going to college, one of the things that they will say to you is that there was somebody there that was just pushing them and supporting them and encouraging them and believing in them. And we believe that person should be the parent, and so we're equipping them with a lot of tools and support to understand the importance of filling out FAFSA forms. We are including them in college tours for many parents who have never been to college to help expose them, and we've had parents actually go back to college themselves, which is one of the best demonstrators for young people in terms of furthering their education. We also have those same parents coming back and serving as coaches in the Project Graduation program, coaching other parents, making sure they, in the midst of a lot of things our families are faced with, don't lose sight of the fact that education is a key game changer for our young people.
Absolutely. Now, as a nagger who was raised by a nagger, I understand the importance of parents. For people who are trying to figure out how to make things better in Detroit, the big criticism is about parental involvement. Right. How many parents are you working with now?
Well, last year we served 25,000 parents over 9 parent resource centers, many of which are in Detroit Public Schools, but we have a new center that we're opening up that's a citywide training, support, and resource center. So we're really excited about that. One of the things that's important to know about Detroit Parent Network is that we don't choose for parents. We support parents who choose traditional public schools, public charter schools, whether it is a private or parochial school. It's about what parents choose for their kids, and we're working with them to use good data to make a good choice as to where to invest their kid in school, and then being creative about their involvement.
Now, I don't have to ask you whether this can happen in Detroit, but what I do want to ask you is what will make things even better in this coming year? What do you need most?
I think that one of the things that we fight for every day is to make sure that parents continue to prioritize our children's education, to recognize that as a community our children's fate is intertwined, and so it's important that for many of the parents who are involved to grab hold of those who are not, to get more involved, and to not just look out for your kids, but to make sure that you're advocating for every kid.
Child. That's
Absolutely.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad that you do that every day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rochelle.
It's now time for our final check-in with Fred Nahat to see how many viewers have responded to our call to action. Fred?
All right, thank you. We are still hard at work here inside the American Graduate Call Center, along with volunteers who are waiting to hear from you. We're celebrating the success of this year's graduates and supporting those who need our help. Please volunteer to become a mentor or support our youth in another way. Contact us using the information on the bottom of the screen right now, and we'll connect you with an area agency working to stop the dropout crisis here in our area. We have been hearing from Metro Detroiters and others who are willing to help, and you can too. There are many students in need and many organizations that can put your skills and your knowledge to use. But we need to hear from you right now. Volunteerism can come in many forms. Set aside a couple of hours a week for a student, or dedicate several days a month. It's up to you. You can even become a full-time volunteer. City Year is an area organization that is looking for young people to help other young people. If you are between the ages of 17 and 24 with a high school diploma or GED, you can become a core member. Consider signing up and joining City Year as they work to improve opportunities for young people here in our area. Education is a process that starts at a very early age. Developing strong math and reading skills as well as a passion for education is important to create engaged and successful students. Our friends at Detroit Parent Network have the tools to empower parents to help kids be stronger in math and reading. Helping our kids improve in these essential areas of study will benefit all of us, and you can help. To join the Detroit Parent Network and aid in this effort on math and reading, contact us now and get connected. This program is coming to a close, but our work continues. Contact us now and get involved in our American Graduate Initiative, an effort led by people like you, along with other positive, committed volunteers, parents, and teachers who are willing to work with young people to help them graduate. To those who have contacted us so far, thank you, but there's still always room for more mentors. Contact us using the information at the bottom of your screen. Rochelle, back to you.
I'd like to thank our guests and you, our audience, for joining us. We hope that you've been inspired by our students' stories and by the dedicated organizations and programs that we featured tonight. We plan to be back here in the fall with more compelling stories about community heroes and groups that are making a difference. The American Graduate Project is not limited to Detroit. This September, America will celebrate National American Graduate Day. We invite you to tune in to celebrate with us again and watch our back-to-school specials. To view this program or learn more about our community partners and the videos featured on this show, visit myamericangraduate.org. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations again to the class of 2012.
This program is part of American Graduate. Let's make it happen. A public media initiative made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.